That's a thing I said I would do. I was gonna have the first video be about something else, but one, nobody voted, like, oh, uh, nobody voted on stuff, and two, want to be a bit topical, actually. And I'm not normally a very topical person. Heck, YouTube videos I watch, I actually tend to be about a day or two behind on because of how I watch videos in bulk. Oh, that's painful when that happens. Instead of as they come out. Also, I want to preface this by saying that most of the things I'm talking about are going to be a part of the recent event that happened, and that admittedly I didn't watch the entire thing. I'm gonna admit that right now. I didn't watch the whole thing. Oh, Ladrie won. I blame you. Uh, but what was I saying? Oh yeah. But since I didn't watch the whole thing, I only cherry-picked certain topics. Or cherry-picked the videos that I care about. Then, what is it? Okay. Then, I'm really only gonna talk about those. My apologies, I'm not used to actually having feedback on this stuff. Either way. So, first of all, just to give my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch in general for people who haven't heard me talk about it. Which I'm sure all 4 of you who will end up watching this will probably already have, but basically, I'm like most Nintendo fans. I'm casually, carefully optimistic. On top of that, what else? On top of that, I really feel like it's something that I personally would probably want out of most gaming systems. I mean, home console quality on the go. It's lightweight, from what I've heard. And people say that it's actually not all that unintuitive to carry the thing around while using it. Sounds good. Just give my basic thoughts out of the way. I'd like it if it was a bit cheaper. That's just me. Either way. So about more the event itself. First of all, I'd like to say, I don't believe this was shown at the event, but just to get it out of the way, the new Yoshi Woolly World has the most adorable goddamn commercials I've ever seen. God damn it, Nintendo. That is far too cute. As for stuff that was actually there, the Bowser parental thing, that I really like that. That was pretty good of them to do. That's a side of Bowser you don't see a lot, and I enjoy it. Fire Emblem Warriors, I called that shit the moment Hyrule Warriors came out. I said to them, and people can back me up on this if they comment in the description or the one person watching says anything. The moment Hyrule Warriors came out, I called it. If that sells well, we're gonna get one based on Fire Emblem. I think it should have been Fire Emblem to begin with, but Fire Emblem isn't nearly as popular. I mean, I'd like to say the majority of Fire Emblem's current fan base hopped on because of either Awakening or Fates. See, I told you people can back it up. Oh, I have more guests. Showtime. Oh, the Ladrie has a fair point, actually. It wasn't that hard to call. So, now with the... Now, personally, I feel like having Crom be the only potentially confirmed character worries me. Ooh. I was not paying any attention that time. That one was entirely on me. Because I get it. Awakening is popular. Awakening is like the one game most of the fan base can name. I get that. But what about... I mean, for earlier games, we're probably getting Marth, probably getting Roy, Lindis, Hector, Leaf, Erica? Anyone like that? Maybe? It'd be nice? Soph? Ike? Oh, well, Ike isn't... I think we can probably say if they've been in Smash Bros, they're getting into Fire Emblem Warriors. I think that's a safe bet. Micaiah, anyone? Did anyone actually care about Micaiah? Point in case, if they're in Smash Bros. Watch the chat, people. They know what's up. All two of you. Let's see. Super Mario Odyssey. That's another one I want to talk about. I think I've said about as much on Fire Emblem Warriors as anyone can say at this moment. So Super Mario Odyssey. That's got potential. Especially because of the attention to detail put in it. A friend of mine pointed out to me that if you watch carefully, the Hammer Bros in the little food area don't actually throw hammers. They throw frying pans. I didn't catch that. A lot of other people I talked to didn't catch that. He caught that. It's nice attention to detail, Nintendo. I will give you that one. And the fact that throwing your hat actually is a mechanic now, I think that's interesting. Okay, I thought that would backfire, but I guess not. Especially since you can jump on your hat and use it as a platform. That is going to lead to some crafty stage design. I want to bet. There's a lot of places you can go with that. I didn't tilt. Peach should throw frying pans. That's a good point. Oh, okay, replace the turnips with frying pans for Smash. That's how we make Peach top tier. Right, guys? Also, Bowser's new design in it is... Wow, Bowser got a lot of love, this time around. Both as a dad and as Pimp Bowser. I mean, yeah. I've heard some people are worried because we're seeing relatively normal-ish looking people in that one stage next to Mario. I'm not going to call doom and gloom and start making the Sonic 06 comparisons, although people have done that already. I'm not just gonna choose not to say too much about that just yet. What we have seen of the stage designs are pretty good too. It definitely feels a lot more open. What we've seen of the stages reminds me a lot of Sunshine because of how open the stages are. They don't really... I agree with Lidry on this one. But the stages in general feel a lot like Sunshine because of not just how open they are, but what kind of open. I mean, with Sunshine, the stages weren't that big, but they had a lot going on. It was a pretty nice middle ground between what 64 started and what almost every other 3D Mario besides maybe the Galaxy games tried to do. And the Galaxy games were great, yeah, but if you take away the novelty of how the gravity worked, in my opinion, the stage designs aren't as good. Let's see, what was this here? Okay, I'm gonna state right now that that one thing that annoys me about the PS4 streaming app is how it tends to cut off words in the stream that makes reading things kind of difficult. Let's see. Either way. It kind of does on my end, actually. Yeah, it's weird. I'll have to look into that before I do another stream. And screw you too, Ladrie. Anyways, the only other thing that immediately comes to mind that I feel like talking about with, Mario Odyssey is what the fuck was up with those eyes on his hat at the end? Really, that's a bit unnecessary. Are we gonna get another Minish Cap where a hat can talk to us? Because it's not like I'm totally against that, but, they didn't do anything with the Loomis. They barely did much with Flood. I don't really, think Nintendo has a bit of a good track record with putting buddies in Mario games. What? That totally should have knocked it down. Come on. Silly game. Either way, obviously I don't think there's much to say about the hat with eyes at the moment, just because what do we actually know? Fair point. With the kids game thing. Still, is that a high score I got? That feels like a high score. No? What's my high score then? Oh. I think we have a ways to go, boys. Oh well. Now for the main thing I want to talk about with the Switch event that kind of rustled my jimmies. Nintendo, let's just sit down for a moment. I have to ask, the fuck do you mean paid online? Paid online for my Switch? And don't you throw that free games nonsense at me. If free games were enough to buy me, I would still have PlayStation Plus. I can switch those off right now, actually. If that would help. No, multiple haps would actually be really good, yeah. There we go. Whoa. Didn't expect it to suddenly do that. Alright. That should be better, guys. I feel like there should be just a straight on-off switch on top of those, but yeah. Either way. Yeah, paid online. So, the free games per month, that's not gonna win me. If that won me, I would still have PlayStation Plus, and I would be playing Overwatch right now. Yeah. That didn't win me. Overwatch almost won me for the online, but principle of the matter. And, I had higher standards for you, Nintendo. Come on. Oh, is that the case? Thankfully, that one was a bit easier to read, but I think it's just because when you guys were talking about ships earlier, I was kind of confused if I mentioned something and forgot what it was. But really, you don't even keep the damn game. Nintendo, I am angry at you. See, I'm disappointed in Sony for doing that, because Sony said they would never do it, but they did it anyways. But Sony's in direct competition with Microsoft, so I'm only disappointed at them. They actually have a comparison point. Nintendo, I'm angry at. Nintendo, you know that you aren't in the same competition of customers as Sony or Microsoft. People who like Are you fucking kidding me? People who like Sony and Microsoft games, or consoles, I should say, I'd wager a guess that a fair number of them don't really care about Nintendo as a whole. Hell, how many people said Nintendo would die with the Wii? I'm sure a fair number said it would die with the GameCube. I'm also sure a fair number said that the PS1 and the Dreamcast would blow the 64 out of the water. Yeah. If you start comparing yourself, Nintendo, to Sony and Microsoft and start playing their dirty, greedy tricks, that will kill you. And this is coming from someone who has said again and again that Nintendo makes too much money. Or not makes, but has too much money to actually die. But the moment you start using the same tactics and putting yourself in the same league as Sony and Microsoft, you kind of lose your main advantage. And that is to say, your image. And this is one of the few times where I'm going to make a big deal about a company's image. Oh, well, there goes that. Because in Nintendo's case, that's sort of the main thing keeping them afloat. Say what you will about Breath of the Wild, it looks hype. I haven't been following it that closely, but that's just because I already know I'm going to get it. Say what you will about Mario games, they're pretty popular. Even say what you will about Smash Bros., which is possibly the only time Nintendo will genuinely get competitive. Hell, Splatoon 2. I did see the Splatoon 2 video. I almost forgot to talk about that. I think Splatoon 2 looks great. I don't think there's too horribly much of a difference between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 1. I think that's a good thing. Honestly, it feels like a lot of the things in Splatoon 2 could have been patched into Splatoon 1. But the fact that they're making a whole new Splatoon game for the Switch, I need to start paying attention more. And not just porting Splatoon 1, I like that. That means Nintendo genuinely believes this is going to work. And having faith in your own product sells it. But at the same time, no one... I shouldn't say no one. People who are used to playing Splatoon 1, going into Splatoon 2, are going to be upset. Because Splatoon 1, free online, to my knowledge, free or at least mostly free DLC. You know, congruent paradox, that's sort of what I'm getting at. See, that's a big part of what I mean by Nintendo's image. if Nintendo... I mean, if they're only doing paid online because they're that confident that the Switch will sell, that's one thing. I'll accept that that takes some balls. But if they're doing it for the same cash-in that works for the other guys, which honestly I question how much that sells anyways, at least for Sony. Microsoft, yeah, okay. I'll give the Xbox. They sort of started with some kind of paid online. To my knowledge, it's been a part of Xbox for a while now. That's one thing. It's why I can sort of forgive Microsoft. I question how well that works for Sony. And in turn, I question if that will work for Nintendo. Will people buy the paid online? Yes, of course they will. So if you put a product on the market, as long as it gets enough attention, someone will buy it. That's just the rule of, I guess, capitalism. That's a rule of capitalism. I'll say that. But at the same time, it's just... Fuck. You know? It's frustrating. Hell, that's why I'm playing this specific pinball board. It's the most frustrating pinball board I own. This pinball board, this hellish fucking torture board, pretty well reflects how frustrated I am about this whole thing. Anyone who's played this old Genie pinball board should know how... Well, I mean, things like that happen in all boards, but it's annoying, it's frustrating. It gives you 5 balls by default because 5 balls on Genie lasts about as long as 3 balls on most boards. Yeah. Certainly does feel like it when I get things like that happening, doesn't it? Anyways, without actually getting, like, genuinely pissed off about the whole thing, there's not much else I can say about paid online. I mean, I'm glad that they're making the service free until the fall. I hope that they're doing it for the reason I would do it. Not as much of a quarter eater as Versus Fighters or Double Dragon. But I hope the reason Nintendo is doing this whole free until fall thing is to sort of gauge their audience. If I were to... Casino pinball win. But if it's to gauge their audience, I will accept this. If a lot of people use the online in the first year, fall comes around, they implement it, and they gauge how many people actually buy it, then Nintendo will be able to look at the results, probably keep it paid for I don't think it would need to... Oh. I don't think it would need to be about the same amount of time, but... if they keep it around for a while, see who buys it, then I will accept that they did this for the sake of, I guess you could say, something of a scientific and/or marketing experiment. And if it turns out that they got enough paid subscriptions for it to be worth that much, so be it. Not much I can do not much I can do except rant on YouTube like this for almost 30 minutes now and send them an angry email. So I'm going to end on this episode on a bit of a high note. And that is to say, I want arms. I really, really, really want arms. Oh. Actually, that's a good point, Ladry. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they do, if and what they change. But yeah, no, arms. I want arms. It looks great. I'll be a bit sad if there isn't any other arm types besides the one shown there. But even if that's all and it's just a cheap game, I have no, I can't think of a good pun. I'm sorry, I failed. But yeah, if it's just a cheap game and that's all there is, great. If they add more, and they're up the price a little bit, maybe even give it some, even if it's half-assed story, even better. I really want arms. I'm excited for arms. If it actually does, arms for Evo when? Is it full price? Well, then I have high expectations for it. Cautious expectations, but but yeah, no. I want to see arms at Evo. Let's get arms at Evo, guys. Let's do that. Come on. Get them top tier arms gamers. Triple cannon arms will be top tier. I'm placing that bet right now. But yeah, that's, if any of you guys have any couple questions, then phase arms, that would be good. Arms Evo 2017, let's do it. But yeah, no, if you guys have any questions, just about any of my opinions on just the Nintendo Switch in general, I can hang around for a few more minutes, but I'll say once we hit the 30 mark, I'm probably going to end this off, because I don't entirely know how many people who actually watch my YouTube channel have as much of a life as I do, and that is exactly none. So yeah. Until then, one more board to see if I can be half decent, or round. Oh. That is an omen. Rip Iwata. If Iwata were in charge, we wouldn't get paid online. No, I'm not going to be salty about this. Or I'm not going to let myself be as salty as I could be about this, I should say. Also, it's sad to boot up my old Wii, look at the Nintendo channel, and see that there are still ads for Iwata Asks and Luigi Dark Moon. Like, of all things, they had to cut off their service date too, you know? You know, I actually haven't seen very much of their new president, to be honest. He doesn't seem as active to me. Maybe I just need to do a bit of research on him after this. Who knows? Well, we can't all have presidents that will happily go into anime battles with Reggie to introduce Mii fighters. I'm afraid. I wish we could. That would be fantastic. Oh, hey, first time that's happened. Oh. Well, I tried. I feel like I'm getting better at this board. Hey, I'm already about halfway to my final score. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. Oh, no. No, where? Ball? Ball, where'd you... There you are, ball. Boing! Yeah, no kidding. I guess as a bit of a final thought, I feel like the thing I got the most out of the Nintendo Switch event, aside from all of the hype for Fire Emblem Warriors and ARMS, is that Nintendo isn't quite the company I thought they were. I'm not gonna be that guy and say, they changed. I don't fucking know. Maybe this is like all of the Nintendo phone apps where they were already in the works and I just sort of blamed Iwata's death on them betraying the fan base and doing that. I'm not gonna do that this time. And that's really another topic for a different video. But it feels like I need to pay more attention to what Nintendo does as far as its marketing goes and its policies than I initially thought I was. Or, if I can word correctly, that I need to just sort of pay better attention to what they're doing in general. But yeah, I think that's everything I had on this one. I think I'll make another video I don't know if it'll be within my Pinball Opinions format or if it's going to be another video in a different one for when we have more information on Fire Emblem Warriors to give some better thoughts on it. But let's face it, they're going to put priority on Awakening and Fates and whatever was represented in Smash. After that, I feel like their next priorities will be the Radiant series, or just the games released in the US in general, with probably more priority over the Radiance games. Then we'll see what happens with Fire Emblem 7 or Fire Emblem 6 and before. So, for now, I think I'm just going to leave it at that. And we'll see what happens from here. See ya. Oh, that's not the button. No, damn it. Oh no, did they take away my option to cut it off? No, there it is. Now we're going. Later.